Great. So now we're gonna do salsa matcha. The salsa matcha is it means like strong salsa. It's a very particular flavor profile and structure for salsa matcha. It doesn't have matcha tea. It has nuts normally. So normally salsa matcha, like the most traditional one, is made with peanuts, oil, chilies, and sometimes honey. So that's just the basic salsa matcha. So then there is different variations of salsa matcha. You can have with sesame, you can have, then people do like walnuts, cashews, pine nuts, like there's all sorts of nuts matchas. I wanted to do it with crickets. So crickets are very traditionally eaten in Oaxaca, in the south of Mexico, and all over Mexico you eat fried crickets. But they normally boil the crickets and then fry them in the pan with garlic and chilies. And then you can eat them as a snack, as just in the streets or watching a movie, you can just have some crispy crickets. And they're a really great source of protein, and they are commonly eaten in Mexico. So I create this recipe to just to highlight this, obviously to make this amazing, versatile, super versatile sauce, but also to highlight our philosophy here in Cole to use local ingredients. So the combination of ingredients gives you the mouthfeel and the taste of Mexico, but they are all British. So they are British crickets, actually, British crickets from Cambridge. That this couple from Cambridge went to Mexico for holidays. They love the crickets, and they were like, "Oh my God, let's grow them in the UK." Amazing idea. So they are growing them in the UK. So British crickets from Cambridge that we're going to toast in the pan with some seeds that are from Britain. So we have camelina seeds, that is our replacement for sesame, and hemp seeds. When you toast the hemp heavily, you get these flavors of nuts like peanuts, So the flavor profile is going to be peanuts, sesame, and crickets. If you haven't tried crickets, you have to try them because it's a very particular flavor. And then we're using cascabel and arbol chili. And season them with a little bit of honey because I like the sweet matcha. So let's get to it. Our pan is hot with some oil. And what I'm going to do is to add the crickets. And then we're gonna add the hemp seeds, because I want the hemp seeds to really toast as well at the same time as the crickets. It is important to add enough oil as well, because the seeds and the crickets will absorb some oil. It's like some sort of Mexican chili crisp. I don't know who was first, but this is definitely better. You will see, you will see. There's a reason why every single Mexican restaurant has salsa matcha. It's just a no-brainer, as they say here. Everyone does like their own version depending on the nuts that they have around. And it's just a really simple sauce. Imagine you have peanuts, you have oil, you have chilies, you have everything already. And then just mix it together and it's just delicious. Anyways, while we're doing this, we have in the back over here some chilies that I've been toasting. It's important to toast your chilies before you blend them, just to get the moisture out of them. Sometimes they have a little bit of moisture, so they are gonna. Otherwise, it's more difficult to blend, and also the flavor. I think toasted chilies or slightly fried chilies will give a more umami flavor and peppery flavor to the dish, and so then the sauce is gonna be deeper. So these chilies are ready to be pounded. This beauty is a cascabel chili, but we took the seeds out. One of my favorites, the arbol chili. So this one is long and thin and red and like incredibly peppery. It also is quite citrusy, so it will give this spice freshness to the sauce, and also it's really spicy. You know what? If you're gonna make a spicy sauce, you have to make it spicy. Like you cannot just make it mild or like a little spicy, because otherwise it just disappoints. Mexican food is not so spicy, but the sauces in the side, they can be. Anyways, now we have here the chilies. We're gonna add some salt. And we're gonna blend the chilies with the salt. You cannot just like, move it around. You gotta be a little bit aggressive with the the stone. So the stone actually makes the work of a stone, you know? You gotta smash it first. So the big pieces become smaller pieces. And then after that, you can really grind. So first, you can hold it from the bottom here. And then just make sure you don't put like a massive, like all the chilies on top of each other. So you have like one layer at a time. Smells amazing. And then you see now we have pieces that are smaller. What you're gonna do now is you start going around. Now we're gonna add some of the rest of the ingredients. The hemp seeds are more roasted and the crickets are roasted, so you get like all these like really like caramelized nutty flavors. So I'm gonna reserve some of the crickets to add at the end to get a little bit of crunch and texture. So it's gonna feel like wet sand. It doesn't have to be super smooth. It can have like really like nice texture. Now we're gonna add some honey. Just gonna go for it, 1 spoon. And then just blend it with honey. So the honey, the liquid, is gonna help us to blend a little bit smoother. And you know what I love about this is that this is a base, right? So you could add to this some short rib stock, or some mezcal, or some orange juice, and put it in shrimps. But we are transforming this base into a matcha, okay, by adding oil. So I'm gonna actually add some of the oil of the chilies. And then I'm gonna add the rest of the crickets and the hemp seeds. And we're gonna finish with some lightly toasted camelina seeds. So it's sweet, creamy, spicy, umami, rich. It has protein. It has everything that you need. This is a cricket salsa matcha.